So it's Harrison Darville on pole position, Luke Hornsby, Frankie Hedges, Christopher Powell. The third row is Pietro Pagano and what looks like Mike Townley, all in black. Around they come, picking up the pace. Goddard pulls off to the left, and we're racing in the Clubman class. Who'll get that whole shot? It's a good start from Harrison Darville. He's got the whole shot. Hornsby trying to hang on round the outside as Hedges puts his shoulders into the side of his cart. Down on the brakes. And it's Pagano coming through to second place, running Hedges out wide. Hedges will have the road in his favour for hairpin 2. And he's gone through. And Hornsby in his explosion of patriotism. Oh, and he gets elbowed out the way by Pagano through the S's, and he's all over the road trying to gather it up, and Pagano's determined to come through. Well, between the white lines or what? Maybe he's not. Well, they're all queued up behind Pagano. Hornsby looking for a way by into Garda. Famously, I suggested he didn't do enough overtaking, but he's probably done more in the first 4 corners than he did in a couple of his races last year. And he's back in third place as they run down to complete the first lap of the season. It's Darville by 0.3 of a second from Frankie Hedges. Luke Hornsby, Mike Townley, Pietro Pagano in 5th, Chris Powell, Jamie Pender up to 7th, Martin Theodoru, Christopher Murray, Justin Buck rounds out the top 10. So the cloud has come over again, but it hasn't started drizzling again, which is good for me. Darville, Hedges, Townley clear. Pagano holding off. Luke Hornsby, Chris Powell, and that must be Jamie Pender. Indeed it is. Down the inside, can he get it done? Who am I looking at there? Oh, sideways, cart number 6, Martin Theodoru. With Pender and Christopher Murray coming in behind them. Murray up to 9th place. The field begins to change a little. And I think Frankie Hedges might be edging back into Harrison Darville for the lead. Townley now coming under pressure from Pagano now that he's cleared Luke Hornsby. And Pagano looking to get by. He went well last year, finishing runner-up to Tom Golding in the lightweight championship. And that's one of the reasons I fancied him as a potential favourite for this title. Pender trying to find a way past Theodoru with Murray in attendance. Justin Buck making progress. He's ahead of James Taylor and David Whitehouse. As we complete lap number 3. And I think Pietro Pagano's just set the fastest lap with a 62.8 as he's beginning to pull into the slipstream of Frankie Hedges. So it's Pietro Pagano on the move at the minute. Townley now under pressure from Hornsby as they sweep down, sweep into Pullmans and haul it up as best they can in these greasy conditions into paddock. Now, is that across Damon Hill? I forget what that straight's called, but that's Garda, famously, dropping into the centre chicane that's not a chicane at all. We don't make the complaint. Everyone's got to have a centre S, apparently. Up Herbert's Rise, I think that is, through Cafe Curve, onto the start-finish straight and down into Conways to begin another lap. And Darville is still holding 0.3 of a second on Frankie Hedges, but Pietro Pagano is pushing Hedges into the race leader now. And Pagano's down the inside. of Frankie Hedges into hairpin number 2. And he's through. And Hedges comes straight back at him. And into the S's. And that's a breather now for Darville. Townley is still holding off Luke Hornsby. Chris Murray has forced his way to the front of this pack of Theodoru and Pender. And James Taylor is trying to get across to join them. And David Whitehouse is trying to hold off Justin Buck. So we effectively have a group of 4 there, as Taylor and Buck go at it hard into Garda. And who's that coming across to join them? I'm not sure who that is. I shall have to have a close look at the number plate. That could be Stuart Osborne. I don't think it is. Another lap goes in the books. And Bigano has picked up second place while I was away. Hornsby looking to the inside and getting it done there on Darrell Lowe. I think that's Darrell Lowe. I think Lowe must be a lap down, because he's suddenly jumped up the field if he has. Battle for the lead is on as Bigano now looking to take this first heat. He's got a good run across and he's through into Garda. Can he get it squared off and turned? Road in his favour. Oh, he runs wide and Darville on the cutback. Now who's going to have the revs going up the hill? It's Darville. And here comes Hedges into the mix as well. Around they go, disappearing out of sight. Who'll get into hairpin 1? It's Bigano ahead of Hedges, and Darville's dropped to 3rd, but he's looking to get second place back. Well, now is this an auspicious start to the season for Pietro Bigano? Ready to make that step. Townley still holds off Hornsby. Chris Murray holding off Martin Theodoru, and James Taylor down the inside into Pullman's. That's an unorthodox place to pass, and he hasn't made it work, at least not yet. Theodoru covers, but not enough. Into Garda 3 wide. Someone's going in the tyres. Not quite great driving for them all to get round. That's Jamie Pender has now got a run on Murray. Well, it's all changed for Chris Murray. So much progress, and then he goes backwards. So on to the final lap. Pagano's got 0.3 of a second on Frankie Hedges and Harrison Darville. That looks like your top 3 settled, as the wind is blowing again and the track is trying to dry. Mike Townley is in 4th place, and it looks as though he's got the best of Luke Hornsby. Townley goes through. There's Hornsby. Darrell Lowe is a lap down. Next man up is James Taylor, pulling clear of Martin Theodoru. Murray and Pender fighting over 8th place. And Peter Harris rounds out the top 10. New lid and suit for Peter Harris. That's why I didn't recognise him earlier on. And your race winner is Pietro Bigano, just ahead of Frankie Hedges. Harrison Darville will have to settle for 3rd place from his pole position. Mike Townley, Luke Hornsby makes up the top 5. James Taylor, Martin Theodoru, Christopher Murray, Jamie Pender, and Peter Harris is your top 10.